and welcome to La French Tech Sofia, our European podcast on series on business and technologies. My name is Adrien Bacchi. I am an entrepreneur. I am the president of La French Tech Sofia in Bulgaria, and today I will be your host and moderator. We have the chance to interview Alexis Chevallot, entrepreneur, French, based in Bulgaria, very interesting guy. Alexis, thanks for your time and thanks for being here.
My pleasure, and thank you for actually welcoming me today. I'm very happy. Thank you for that.
Alexis, you're an expert in automation. You have created your startup with your wife, girlfriend, I don't know, okay. Let's first talk about who you are. Introduce yourself, please, and then we'll talk about your activity in automation.
Yeah, but as you said, so I created Capto now almost a year ago, a bit more, but the real start was a year ago. So we are specialized in automation and we help basically companies to automate their processes by onboarding robots in their team.
If I remember correctly, you've been traveling a lot, right? Before choosing Bulgaria.
Yeah. I studied abroad. Basically, since 10 years, I haven't been in France.
Okay.
First went to China, then to UK, then to US, and it went on for almost 10 years with almost like a move every 6 months. I was quite lucky with the study I had and the different partners, and I enjoyed a lot of that. And I discovered Bulgaria 2 years ago and fell in love with the country. I think for me, it's mix everything, and it's one of it's the best country definitely for me, at least my favorite country in Europe. So 2 years ago, when I was actually thinking as well of entrepreneurship, I was like, okay, I think there is no better country than this one to actually work from.
So that's very interesting, because you've been in many countries, you have very various experiences, and then you choose Bulgaria. And I mean, I've been in Bulgaria myself for 14 years, and everybody asks me, why Bulgaria? And most of the time I answer, I've been lucky. So what's your answer?
So for me, I've been lucky in some ways as well. So I met, as you were saying, my girlfriend a couple of years back, and basically I discovered Bulgaria this way at the beginning. But after that, when I was thinking about going for entrepreneurship, I had this big idea. I wanted to rebuild something that helped, and that most of my connections were in Europe. So I was thinking about a country in the European Union, and then logically Bulgaria came because there is, as you know, a big tech hub, and for this reason, it was for me the kind of most interesting country in Europe when you want to do technology from my point of view.
That's very interesting, actually, that you start with something very personal and it's driving you to business. But do you think it's sustainable for you?
Yeah. Definitely. I think we can see a lot of companies that actually are growing in Bulgaria from Bulgarian people. So it's different, and there is a huge, I think, barrier on the language potentially. But to me, in terms of business, that's a really great country for technologies and developers. I'm sure you will approve this. It's a great country as well. It gives a lot of opportunities, and the country in itself, more on a personal level. The nature, the mountains, the climates, a lot of different things. So there is a business side that is really sustainable, it's a super opportunity, but also on a personal side, it offers you a lot by being in Europe, but at the same time having this impression to be outside of Europe. And that's actually one of the main reasons for me as well, personally, is that actually I was discovering part of what I was seeing in more Asian countries, or more remote countries where you don't see that anymore in Europe, except in kind of those countries, and Bulgaria is a good representation of that.
I think that's a very interesting aspect, actually, of the conversation. I also believe that being in Bulgaria for 14 years, that part of the thing is not just the business opportunities, And why it's nice is just that the atmosphere and the context is really interesting. So because I think this connection to nature and the mountain is very interesting. I mean, what's your feeling about it? What does it bring you?
Yeah, so I love hiking. So, that's how basically I fell in love with it. The first time I came, I spent 1 week in Sofia. Sofia was like one of those big city, and that I knew a lot of cities like that. So it was kind of like something I knew was existing in Bulgaria. The difference of Sofia is that there is still this kind of wildness that you don't find in a lot of capital, especially in Europe. And then on the weekend, we went to the Pirin mountain, which is a mountain range on the south. And there I found like a mountain that is like very wild, very like magnificent, super. Like why I insist on wild is because there is far less like human marks on nature compared to like if you go to the Alps are magnificent, but they are very well big infrastructure, very well structured. When actually those mountain ranges in Bulgaria are far more natural to my country.
I still find it very interesting, that we are talking about technology and business and we end up talking about mountains. But I really believe that entrepreneurship is based on the energy, willingness, and the fact that you're going to wake up every day and be like, okay, today I'm motivated to fight for my business, even if it's not a good day. But talking about this, let's go back to the topic of automation and your business, because I don't think that enough people really understand what it is, and it's cutting edge. It has a lot of applications. Please go in detail. Automation, what is it? Who is it for? Who are your clients? Or are you going there?
That's a lot of questions in one. I will try to answer with as much detail as
one answer per question then. Okay, what is automation?
No worries. So just to confirm what you were saying on finalize the natural side, definitely when you are well balanced, to me it's very important for entrepreneurs to basically succeed because they feel well where they are as well. So that's the first thing. Then after, regarding automation, so it's a good question because I have very different types of automation. What we are specialized on is robots. So basically the difference of robots is that it can do anything. It can literally do anything, and the biggest challenge I think for people to understand the possibilities is to see what it can do without forgetting that it has some challenges. Like the more you ask, of course it will be more challenging. Like if you ask, for example, to recognize live images in an airport, you have use cases like that, and that's super complex, and companies are spending millions on that. What Capto is basically different on this market for the robots is that we bring the cost down. Like robots have been limited for dozens of years to big corporations which had like a huge budget. Like I've reviewed some projects lately that were like $7 million worth for 3 years, which is massive. And it wasn't even a big case, it was just an average case. When actually for me and for my co-founder, what we found out is that basically this technology would be super useful for like SMEs. And so for this reason, we were looking for basically a technology that were enabling to not have only this technology for big corporations, but enabling SMEs to basically onboard those technologies and help them really profoundly. I mean profoundly because it's definitely a strategic differentiator. Like it can transform your whole business, multiply the productivity, divide the cost. Like there is a lot of amazing impact on businesses on the strategic level. So regarding this, it was kind of like coming from a conversation that we had with friends that were basically in SMEs, and we are seeing that we were onboarding already this technology in big corporation. We were working in PwC, which is a huge one of the big four in accounting. And we were seeing that basically SMEs didn't have the chance for this, and it wasn't normal because this technology will shape the future of work. Like that, in 10, 20 years, 95% of teams of people will interact with a robot. We already interact with it, even if it's transparently. When we are going on our banking app, when we are doing interaction with application like social media, there are a lot of interaction that we do already indirectly. But I mean in more direct way. In the next 10 years, 20 years, there is 95% of people that will interact with
95%, that's just huge. Okay.
That's huge, but the application is huge. To be honest, the only like the limit that we have, we put the limit ourselves to basically help the most efficiently the people that we know and the use case that we know. But we are at the beginning of this trend, and this is something that will basically impact everyone. But we have to choose at some point who we help first and who like is more mature for this. It's a question of maturity as well on this.
Sounds like a gigantic mission. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We won't do that alone. We are growing, and there is a lot of interest on the market. But yeah, it's definitely a lot to do, and it's great. And it's super interesting.
So what's between you and conquering the world right now? What's preventing you from invading the world with your robots?
So that was your first question, the understanding.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of evangelism that we do at the moment. That is basically the big gap in between conquering the world for us and the point where we are now. Like in terms of like knowledge, the technology is there since 10 years. Now it's more like basically gathering, like transforming this technology to make robots. So that's the first thing that we are doing now. And the second step is basically for people to understand the opportunities behind it, and that's what we are tackling at the moment.
That's very interesting. Do you feel like people are really inspired by your mission, or do you sometimes because it reminds me when you use an image like invading the world with your robots, of course it's a kind of a provocation, because there's people that are enthusiasts about automation, artificial intelligence, scripting, and there's always people that are like, you're going to destroy jobs, you're going to destroy humanity, you're going to kill me and my kids, monster. So how do you interact with this type of feelings?
Yeah, there is both. I think there is a growing interest, like a genuine interest, because people, COVID helped on that. People realize that a lot of their tasks, when they were doing it at the office, potentially, it was okay because the team was around, they had the coffee break, there is a social aspect, and it wasn't a shock. And basically when everyone went on COVID, I realized that actually a lot of people were really complaining and not like able to live anymore with it. Because like doing it at home in your bedroom for some, and doing like a repetitive tasks the whole day from Monday to Wednesday in best case scenario was like just horrific. So I think there is this, and so there are people that are more and more excited about the technology. Also because more and more people see that once you onboard automation on those kind of robots in your team, it basically takes the bad work, like the things that you don't want to do, you are not excited about it, and it prevents you from doing what you love doing. So that's one part, the exciting part. The second part, because I really want to talk about it, is like the part that we were saying about replacing jobs. There is two things about that. Honestly, from what we have seen ourselves, is that every time we onboarded a robot, it created more work than anything else. A concrete example I will tell you is like 2 weeks ago we onboarded a robot for lawyers. And basically the team was finally again looking for clients, because before they were refusing clients because if they were taking more clients, they had so much administrative side on the project that basically it was too much, they couldn't handle more. Now the robots take a huge part of the administration, and they can basically like talk to their clients, spend time on the value-added work of a lawyer, which is analyzing the text, seeing what can be done, etc. Like there is an investigation side, which is like what is like the passion about a lawyer, but also like unable to do more. So there's this, and the second point is what I read, and I love this stat. It's basically the two most advanced countries in the world for robots, physical robots, this time. Is Germany and South Korea. And basically what you see on those two countries is that unemployment went down And so I deeply believe that the same for digital robots. We will see that more and more we onboard robots in our team, and there will be less and less problem of unemployment.
So it really sounds that you're working on making the world a better place with your robots.
Yeah, we all try to do that. I really believe it as well. To be honest, there is a really bright future ahead of us. More and more, what I say is that our generation, like the generation, actually, a lot of people that are older than us complain about it. Me, I'm super excited about it. Like, we have a lot of huge challenges, and basically, like, we can be like, if we succeed and tackle all of them, like, we have ecological issues, we have like a lot of challenges to tackle, and if we tackle all of them, we will be the proudest generation ever, and we'll have done like the most biggest accomplishment that humanity has faced. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I mean, I love your vision, especially for Europe, for France. And a lot of the aging countries. We are facing this issue that you have people that are entering the third part of their life. They are retiring, and they need support. And the physical and emotional support is not something robots can do. And I think that seeing the technological trends, it's not going to happen anytime soon. While having people that are working in some processes, in administrations, in banks and all, that their job could be automated. When we're talking about digitalization, e-government, and all these things, we could really, yes, it will destroy jobs, automation. There are some people that will have to reinvent themselves. But we can then reallocate these people to places where it's really needed for education, for helping the people. And I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, we all think always about cycles, and I think it's another one. We have been spending those previous centuries basically saying, it's less and less human. The human become a machine, first going to factories, after going to white-collar jobs. And I think there is potentially a cycle that comes now, which is like making the economy more human. So the factories will be automated, the administrative jobs will be automated, but there will be a huge creation on human with value added human value on the years to come. What I mean by that is as you were saying, support for different people, but also having interaction between humans for creativity. So there is a lot of examples like that when you can see that basically we will enter a new level which is far more human than before. And I think that's where we are going.
Going back to you being French in Bulgaria, could you share with us your best moment this year in Bulgaria and your worst moment, just so that people can also understand what it is to be an entrepreneur in Bulgaria?
Actually, which one to choose?
Go for the worst then, if you don't know what to choose, but something funny.
Okay, the worst. The worst. Actually, I'm trying to learn the language at the moment, which Bulgarian. You can try. You can look on your phone. You will see it's complex. And so I was asking for basically giving I bought a comic book to learn how to read. And so I bought the comic book. I go to the shop of the family, and I drop it to basically ask to my mother-in-law to basically bring it back after walk to the apartment. Long story short, but basically the way I was talking, she understood I wanted to give it to the dog. Because the way you pronounce apartment and dog is basically when you are from abroad, it's very if you confuse one syllab, it's going on the wrong way. So it was complicated. That was my most challenged moment this year. As you can see, it's not that bad. So I have a pretty good life in Bulgaria. Then after, in the good moments, I really loved transparently. I've been in the French community lately in Sofia, and it was super cool to connect with a lot of different interesting people from France or from abroad joining there. It was a really great time. I really loved that time.
Awesome. Alexis, our moment together is reaching an end, even if it's digital. I hope we will meet soon. Do you have one last words to share with us? I mean, really, again, back to this idea of connecting you being French in Bulgaria business and how you're going to interact with this.
Yeah, honestly, one thing, don't hesitate to contact me. Like if you find me in any way from this video, find me on LinkedIn, ask me questions. Like if you are interested, Bulgaria is an amazing country. And for like being an entrepreneur in Bulgaria, it's really magnificent. Don't hesitate to come to me, ask questions, any doubts, and I'm more than happy to help on that.
So, thank you very much again for your time and interest today.
Thank you for the invitation.
I find your topic very interesting, so I'm very happy that I got to interview you and to share this moment with everyone. I hope it's going to be interesting. Anyway, you can find Alexis on LinkedIn, the best place, Alexis Chevallot. He and his wife have a very interesting social media, and I love the way you interact actually and tell about your story, the way you develop it. Fantastic. I think it's master level. So congrats again. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice day, and thank you for listening to our podcast about French Tech on Air. Thank you.